Good morning and welcome to LinkedIn Marketing Minis. I'm Karen Yankovich and we have a great topic today. Today we're going to be talking about how to maximize LinkedIn for the work you do before, during, and after conferences so that we are getting every single little bit of juice out of each conference that we go to. I am live every day, 10 a.m. Eastern. Today I'm a little bit late, but we're usually live 10 a.m. Eastern on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter. And if you have not yet joined us in the Facebook group, you can join us at linkedinforwomencommunity.com. I would love for you to join me there. And also, we are doing these every day for the next foreseeable future because I'm really enjoying doing them. And so if there's a topic that I haven't covered yet that you'd like me to talk about, just DM me and let me know what it is you'd like to hear about, and I'll talk more about that. So one other thing, we're getting, really good feedback on these videos. I'm so happy that everybody's really loving them. But one question that I've been getting asked consistently is, all right, but how does all this fit together? Because I'm not really doing these in any rhyme or reason deliberately, right? These are meant to be mini individual tips that stand alone, right? But of course, there is an overall strategy that helps you, build more conversation, have more credibility, have more conversations and more conversions to clients, right? So how does this all fit together? Well, I have created a short little video, it's not even 10 minutes, that explains the process. And if you want to know what it looks like to get some help with this process, you can just click on the link under that video and grab a spot on my calendar. So I'd love to chat with you. So today we're talking about how to use LinkedIn to maximize conferences. And you guys know, like, this is kind of conference season now, right? We're doing these videos in September 2023. So it's the fall, and in the fall, that's typically when there's a lot of business conferences, right? Especially if that's what you go to, business conferences. So, a lot of us, and I have been definitely done this. You go to these conferences in the past and you go and then you leave and you're like, oh my gosh, what just happened, right? Like, maybe you love the conference, right? I actually like to refer to the doors at the outside of the conference as like the doors of amnesia, because while you're there, you've got so much good stuff going on, right? And you are taking a lot of notes and you've got all these things and you're meeting all these people, and then you walk through those doors and life goes back to normal because life is busy, right? None of us are sitting around like waiting for something to do these days. At least I'm not, right? And many of the people I talk to are not either. So how do we avoid that? How do we create a process that allows us to really maximize the time that we're at these conferences? And it actually starts before the conference, right? It starts before the conference. You want to make sure before you even go to this conference that your profile is really standing out from the crowd, that you have a really amazing, strong LinkedIn profile that is positioning you as if you're peers with the most influential people in your community and in your industry, right? And then the next thing you want to do is you want to start to research who's going to be at this conference, who are the speakers, who else is attending, right? Making a list of 10 or 20 people that you really want to get to build a relationship with as a result of your attendance at this conference. I had a friend / client that was attending a conference in India, and she didn't know anybody. She was going to this conference across the world from here in actually New Jersey, and she didn't know anybody. But what we did was we created a LinkedIn profile, right, that positioned her as worthy. And then she started to reach out to some of the other speakers at the conference and started to book coffee dates and lunch dates, right? This is how you start to maximize this, instead of like wandering around going like, oh my gosh, who do I talk to? Like, the introvert in me gets wiggy when I start hearing this stuff, right? But isn't it nice when you know, like, it's Tuesday, I have lunch with Joe or Mary or whatever today, right? You can do this before the conference, and Joe or Mary are so happy you did this because people are not doing this, right? People are not doing this. You also want to make sure maybe you want to talk about it. Hey, I'm going to be at this conference. Use LinkedIn, tag the speakers. Really looking forward to hearing, Susie Smith talk about this topic. Maybe tag, if you're a speaker and you want to get known by the people that organized the conference, tag them. Say, I'm really so grateful that this organization pulled this conference together. Tag the organization, maybe even tag some of the people that are running it. I can't wait to go. I know this is going to be great. They do an amazing job, right? Because what you're doing is you're putting yourself on their radar for next year, right? And this does not take a lot of time, right? This does not take a lot of time. It's just a little bit of activity before the conference. Then during the conference, you want to absolutely maximize your time there. You want to make sure you know in advance, do they have a LinkedIn group? Do they have other groups that you want to be talking about? Do they have a conference hashtag, right? Do connect with some of the speakers on some of the platforms that you may want to use to communicate via the conference beforehand so that you can easily tag them when they're speaking on a stage. And, you can take pictures of them. Like, listen, I'm a speaker, and those of you that are speakers know this. We love when we get off stage and there's all this social media tagging us, right? Like, that's amazing. Be that person, because that's how we'll know who you are. Right? That's how we know who you are. And this is all about those relationships, right? Diving deeper into those relationships. So you want to make sure that you're meeting up now with these people, maybe taking some selfies of you guys and putting them on your stories. Maybe your Instagram or your link or your Facebook stories are going to be all about this conference, but you also want to be sure, because when you tag somebody on Instagram, yeah, they see your pretty pictures. And I know that there's some great strategies to use Instagram. I don't know what they are, because that's not my thing. But when you reach out to people on Instagram or even via email, they don't really know who you are. You're just as maybe you're not as faceless anymore because they met you at the conference, but they don't really know who you are. When you connect them on LinkedIn, you've got the strength and the power of your profile supporting that outreach, and that's what you want. You want them to go, "Whoa, she's pretty cool. I do want to follow up with her." Right? You want your profile to bring that to people. One of the things that I like to do too is when I'm going to a conference, I'll take a screenshot of my LinkedIn QR code, and I'll make it my screensaver for that day, like my wallpaper on my phone for that day. I also have a little printer, like if I'm going to a conference, I can print people's QR codes and they can put them on the back of their badges, right? But you want to make it really easy to connect with people, because we don't have a lot of time at a conference to really get to know people. But everybody that you've connected with in these 12 hours or 24 hours or 48-hour period are people that you met at this conference, right? So if you make it really easy for people to just scan your QR code, then you can follow up with them afterwards, right? And you can follow up with them with intention, and you don't have to be so stressed about maximizing your time at the conference, because you've got their QR code. Now you can follow up. Now you know you can follow up. Right. And then here's the other thing. When I attend a conference, I literally block out the day after the conference for the follow-up. And this is so key. This is so key, because I want to now look through all those people that I've connected with and book those calls. Right? It doesn't have to be the day after, but you want it to be soon after, right? You want to, what did you promise people? Did you offer to email anybody anything? Are there any, you want to make sure that you are following up and keeping up the momentum. You can do less of these events if you do all this stuff I'm talking about on this video here today, right? You may want to share some takeaways after the conference, and maybe a week after, even continue to share content, but schedule it all out. And use LinkedIn again, because these people met you at the conference, but they don't know how great you are. They're not going to know that till they see your LinkedIn profile, right? So you may want to give these people that you met at a conference a tag on LinkedIn if you're using Sales Navigator, right? You may want to give them a tag so that you can sort through them, and maybe, down a week or a month from now, you can do a search by that tag and reach out to some of these people and say, wow, I really thought I was going to be doing this and I haven't even done it yet. Have you? Right? Or, gosh, I'm still thinking about that eggplant parmesan we had at that restaurant, whatever it is. But it's about continuing to nurture these relationships that you met at the conference. And the work that you're doing before and during the conference will facilitate the after. And this is world-class networking, right? And it is completely free, right? This is completely free. You don't have to pay a $20,000 a month publicist to do this. You absolutely want it. So these little strategies that I talked about here today, just a high-level strategies, incorporate them into the next conference you're going to. And this is obviously in person, but you can do the same thing if it's virtual. You can do the exact same thing if it's virtual, and really pull together a strategy that has you building relationships that you can count on for years to come. Because here's the other thing that's going to happen. In 3 years, right, you may come across one of these people and you're like, where did I meet this person? But if you see that you gave them a tag or that you had an interaction with them, you'd be like, oh, I met them at this conference. That's right. And it gives you a reason to follow up with them, right? And that reconnecting piece is such a huge part of the strategy that I teach that you'll learn a little bit about at that video that's scrolling below me. So, these are the things that make your business profitable and can skyrocket your business. I ask, and I've probably said this 10 times over the last few weeks that I've been doing these videos. You know, if I asked 100 people, where do you get most of your business from? 99 and a half are going to tell me referrals, right? So sure, use Instagram and take pictures and do these other things, but do what you can to make referrals repeatable by creating strategies that put these people on your calendar so that you can say, who do you know? This is what I do. Who do you know? Right? All right. I hope this was really valuable. Incorporate these strategies in your next conference. Check out sluvideo.com below. That tells you how all of this works together. I would love for you to take a look at that. And then if you want to know more about what it looks like to get some help with this stuff, there's a link there to grab a spot on the calendar. Let's see, what are we talking about tomorrow? Oh, tomorrow we're going back to basics on LinkedIn. We're going to be talking about your LinkedIn experience section. So be here, be square, 10 a.m. tomorrow, and we'll be talking about that. I'll see you then. Bye.